meeting of any kind and you don't have to sit at the keyboard, I would suggest standing up. So right now, you can literally do whatever you want for this little session, but I would suggest with starting by standing up. All right, my name is Dwayne Bandman. Chris Knoop and I are your wellness instructors. And right now, we're kind of in charge of finding things to do for people to keep our head from exploding and keep us working effectively. So that's what the next 12 and a half minutes are going to be about, okay? So yeah, number one, if you have a chance to stand up out of your chair and listen to something that's going on the computer, but you don't actually have to be actively engaged in typing or responding, I really encourage you to just get up and turn your camera off, you know, depending on how well you've dressed yourself. Turn your camera off, get up, and then listen from afar. So just gentle moving and fidgeting. They say people who fidget burn way more calories than people who don't fidget. So just the idea of gently moving around and listening and talking. If you do have to talk, but you're not typing, do it walking around a little bit, okay? So me doing this right now, I don't think it's weird or awkward. I'm not sitting in a chair. It's kind of like I'm lecturing, right? So while we're doing this, I would encourage you to be in this standing position, unless of course I ask you to do something specific. Now, first thing I'm going to show you, and you can do this standing, but I'm going to sit down and get closer to my camera, is a hand massage. All right. So I'm also a massage therapist, if you don't know that. And so I actually know what I'm doing here. And our hands get working, typing, mousing, and also clenching when we're upset or angry or frustrated. And so to do a hand massage on yourself is fantastic. One hand gets some exercise, the other hand gets the massage, and then they can switch off whenever they want. Now, a couple of things. If you're doing this, you don't need to put any oil or lotion on your hands. What you're gonna do is make contact, let's say with your thumb, on a soft, fleshy part of your hand. You're not gonna slide on the skin. You're just gonna stay in contact and squish the stuff that's inside your hand, okay? Then you pick up your thumb, move to a slightly different place, and just squish it like you're playing with Play-Doh, all right? So the places you can do this on, you can't do it wrong, you can do it anywhere you want, but I like the kind of the soft, meaty part underneath the little finger, the soft, meaty part by my thumb, and then the places in between the knuckles on the palm side of my hand. So what I'm gonna do, the hand giving the massage is working, and the hand getting the massage just gets to relax. So I squish around, find a new place, squish around, find a new place, squish around, okay? You quickly learn to appreciate that when a massage therapist does this to you for an hour, their hands must get very tired and sore. So honestly, you might do this for 10 seconds on one hand and then switch and do the other hand, same spots, and then switch back, because one hand is gonna get tired pretty quickly. And then for these parts between the knuckles, I like to get my thumb in here, okay? And then just essentially I'm trying to wedge these two bones apart, okay? You can be as vigorous with this as you want. You're not gonna hurt anything, but all we're doing is contacting that tissue and then just gently rubbing it, okay? Again, my thumb is not sliding on the skin, it's contacting the skin and then squishing the stuff underneath. Do this for a minute or two and that hand just feels fantastic. And you switch hands and do the same thing. Really good exercise to do while you're listening to, let's say, a presentation or somebody telling you something, or you're getting bad news about something that's not working out and you have to solve the problem. Do this while you're listening to that intense meeting where you find out that all the work you did yesterday is for naught and you have to do it all over again today, okay? You go back to keyboarding, mousing, and the hands are gonna feel awesome. All right, next thing you can try is just, this can be with your elbows on your desk, or if you're still standing, you're just standing there. Interlace your fingers and then try to simply move your wrists around as far as they'll go or as far as you feel comfortable, keeping your palms stuck together. Okay, there's no magic or mystery to this. What you're doing might look a little bit different than me. That's cool. If you're doing it, if you started, you will have gone in the natural direction that you like. The fun part is trying to go in the opposite direction. And there is no specific benefit to this other than it's kind of fun to try, okay? Kind of gets your motor cortex part of your brain activated. Because with the work that you're doing, sitting, typing, thinking, strategizing, coming up with solutions, your motor cortex is working about as much as this bottle of hand chop, all right? It is done. It is not doing anything, but it's part of your brain. So that's activated by doing this kind of a thing, right? One way feels natural, and then the other way feels like, yeah, so I lost it now. My nervous system got tired and I can't even figure it out. Weird. Yeah, so if any of this makes any noise, like, that's okay, right? If when it snap, crackles, and pops, if you also get shooting pain with the snapping and crackling and popping, then I would slow it down. I would maybe not go quite as far as possible, okay? But just the snapping, crackling, that's totally cool. All right. Now, some of this is still on the theme of bringing some attention to your body. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. There's lots of different ways in which, whether it's a strength workout or a cardio workout, or you go for a run, you go for a walk, you do yoga, you do Pilates, all of those things, the basic premise is to bring attention to what you're doing, okay? It changes how your brain works, and when you change how your brain works, you usually improve that, and then it turns around and helps you think better and work better and be more functional. So that's what part of this is, while we're actually benefiting the physical aspect of our body, okay? All right, next one. We're just gonna take our fingers interlaced, okay? Elbows straight across. And I have the benefit of looking at myself on the screen, so I know what this is gonna look like. I'm not sure if that's a benefit or not. So we're just gonna try to make a wave action, okay? That's it. If you're doing this in the mirror, or you can see your recording on the computer screen, the image of yourself, you know what that looks like. And again, I didn't try this ahead of time. I knew I could do it one way, but the goal is to now go the other way. And so this is where I should turn my computer screen off, my camera off, because, okay, I'm going back to the way I like. Okay, obviously one way works better than the other. Trying to go the other way, just simply trying it, really, really activates that motor cortex in your brain, brings blood flow to the different areas, and that in turn actually helps how you think about stuff. The old adage, if you got a problem or you get an issue that you're dealing with, go for a walk, maybe go for a walk with a friend or a coworker and think about it. Well, that natural going for a walk that we would normally do on campus as you walk around the building and try to solve your problems, that walking piece is part of where the solution comes from, okay? All right, so if you decide to sit for that part, I'm gonna get you to stand again. Okay, again, this is stuff that you can just do for a 5-minute break anytime you want, or during these sessions that we bring attention to it. So you're standing on the ground, feet about hip width apart, whatever. The best way to figure that out is close your eyes, jump, land, there you go. That's where you're supposed to stand. Or you can really have your feet anywhere you want, okay? Now, as we stand here, what I want you to do is shift your weight onto your right foot, so your right foot has about twice as much weight as your left, okay? It is not important that you get this right, but rather you try. And again, you're bringing attention to what your body's doing. Now, let's go the other way. Shift your weight onto your left foot, so your left foot has about half as much weight as your right, okay? That moment where you try to get it right, it disengages your brain from all the other cognitive stuff that you're thinking about. And when you return to the cognitive part, the problem solving part, it'll be that much better. Okay, bring the weight back to the middle. okay? Now, depending on your own physical capacity and ability, we're gonna try now to shift your weight all the way to the right foot and pick the left foot off the ground, okay? So we're balancing. This works really well for some, for others, not at all. Depending on your balance or how much you've practiced, you'll try to do your best. If you need to keep your left foot just touching the ground, just gently to maintain that, that's cool. So maybe you have 90% of weight on one foot, 10% on the other. Let's switch sides. So over to the left side, we're balancing, or we just have that toe gently touching on the ground to keep us from falling. If you're really trying hard to balance and you're having fun with this, but you're really struggling, remember to breathe. If you breathe all the way in and all the way out, your balance will come to you, okay? Let's shift back to the right side, okay? And so this is a very neurological activity, okay? Balance is very neurological. And depending on how old all of you are, your neurological abilities are the first to go. Use it or lose it, okay? So if you're, I don't know, like 45, 50, 55 plus, and you've never practiced balancing, you might find this really hard. Shift back to the left side, okay? If you find it really hard, that just means you have more room for improvement. And if you find it really hard, I would suggest trying this on a regular basis. And here's the cool thing, you will absolutely guaranteed notice improvements. In some cases, massive improvements very quickly. All right, let's go back to both legs. And I'm gonna show you one more exercise that's really simple to do. It's basically just taking your arms and making a circle with them. And in this case, what I like to do is start with a circle that's as big as you want it to be. So keep it comfortable and keep it in a location that's comfortable. So for example, up here probably isn't your number one choice, right? Way back here, not number one, but somewhere kind of down in front, out to the side a little bit, that's pretty comfortable, okay? And then let's change direction. So we're just gonna go in the other direction. And now from here, a nice progression with this is to take these circles and make them slower and bigger. Now, sometimes we have a shoulder that's not really agreeable to this, so one arm might be doing something completely different than the other arm, okay? That's okay. So none of this has to hurt, none of it should hurt. So now the circles get as big and as slow as you feel comfortable with, okay? And let's switch direction. Now, just for fun, what you can do is add that balance thing in, right? So now I'm standing on one foot, all right? Maybe I'm doing this thing standing on one foot. Maybe I'm doing my hand massage standing on one foot. All right, come out of that if you like. So those are kind of a handful of gentle, simple movement exercises that you can do kind of whenever you want. And if you see us and we jump in, we're gonna kind of take you through those kinds of movements, plus a bunch of other stuff to keep it interesting. So I think I've got 10:15. You probably have to get back to whatever you were doing before. So if you want to hang out for a bit, if you have some time, you can ask some questions through chat, or just unmute yourself and chat. Or if not, you got to get back to work, I'll let you go. I'll be around here for a bit. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon, okay? Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thanks, Dwayne. Bye.